What's up, y'all? It's your girl, King Love. One day before my birthday, and it has been crazy today. I've had hell trying to get this set up so I can get this recorded. Y'all be patient with me. I do have better equipment coming. I'm just working with my phone right now, so bear with me. I can barely get things to be still. My kids are not respecting it. It's just crazy, but I'm back. I made it. I'll be doing two tonight. The first episode I'll be talking about is episode 2. Um, it's your girl Kenny Love. I'm so sorry, I'm so tired. It's been a long day. It's your girl Kenny Love. Please like this video, subscribe if you like my content. My channel is new. I'm brand new to YouTube, so I'm gonna be uploading more content. I take all criticism. Just don't be nasty. And don't be nasty to anyone who comments something, whether you like it or not. That's on me. Um, the show I am reviewing is Monogamy, directed by Craig Ross Jr. I found out about it through Facebook. I did a review of episode 1. It ran kind of long because, like I said, I'm new. I'm still new to this, y'all. So it ran kind of long. I'm working on it, y'all. I'm working on getting the time down. But it's 4 different couples that I'm dealing with. And even though it's a short show, it's about 27 minutes, it's a lot of information that they give in the show. So I'm going to try to get us through it as quickly as possible. And I do want y'all to check out the series because it's a really dope series. And I think it's a wonderful series for married couples. It gives them a conversation. And I think married people need to always keep a conversation going. Always keep dialogue open. Never be afraid to come to each other about things wrong or right. You should be comfortable enough with your partner to do that. If not, it's a problem. So I feel like this type of show opens up dialogue with marriages to really see where y'all at. You don't know. One person might be feeling one thing and another person might be feeling another thing, and you can address that, get that out in the open, maybe seek counseling, and not end up in divorce. So it's kind of like how War Room affected marriages, you know? So, all right. So we start off, like I said, this is episode 2. The name of the episode is Out of the Frying Pan. And just to recap, it's about 4 couples who are at a point in their marriage where they're not happy and they don't know what to do and they want to get back to the happy. So they participate in this experiment, put all their assets up, participate in all this crap. They take their phones and pair them with new spouses and move them to new homes. And here we go. So the first couple to meet is Caroline and Carson. It's Vanessa Simmons and Wesley Jonathan. And so they are paired together. She goes in the house. She doesn't know he's there. He walks up on her. She clocks his ass. I'm not going to be cursing a lot, but she did. She clocked him real quick. And so they have a back and forth. She was like, "Are you my new husband?" He was like, "Yeah, it was leftover." And so they go back and forth. And later on during that day, you see them talking and trying to kind of get to know each other. And, she explains why she hit him and why she's so defensive because she's a fighter. And so this episode was really based on sexual tension because, she's telling him that he's a fighter. She's a fighter and all of that. And what did y'all talk about? That was the main question. What did you and your wife talk about before y'all came here? So sex was on the table real quick. And they've only been in the house, I want to say, 24 to 48 hours at this point. So, Caroline is paired, like I said again, with Carson. After that banter, I'm sorry, y'all, because I got my notes wrote down. I don't want to be. After that banter that they have in the kitchen, I'm sorry, after the exchange that they have after the fight, all of them have been given these personal cell phones. So a message comes to the cell phone about Caroline saying that, she's a fighter. She's always been a tomboy. She played football. Her mother encouraged it after a while and enrolled her in jiu-jitsu, and that's how she became a fighter, and that's how she came to own the gym with her husband. Okay, and then she talks about wanting a man with a gentle touch, and then she goes, say, maybe I don't want a man at all. Hmm. So she gives a hint that maybe she was confused about her sexuality. So later on, when they're in the kitchen making lunch together, because as they're in the experiment, text messages come through and messages come through, and they tell them, hey, you need to prepare a lunch meal together. You need to go do this together. They're making them do things together where they have to be in contact with each other, where they have to talk to each other. And since they don't know either one, since no one knows anybody, they're just saying what they want to say, saying how they feel. They figure, hey, your marriage can't be no better than mine, so I'm going to say what I want to say. Straight up, that's where they talk to each other. And so, as they're preparing a meal together, you know, Carson asks her, is there someone else you're interested in? I'm sorry, is there someone else you're interested in? And she was like, no. And he was like, are you attracted to your husband? And she was like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. Why do you ask that? And he was like, oh, I was just wondering, were you interested in someone else? So right off the bat, he's trying to see if she's going to come out and say that she's bisexual. So then they get into a conversation about power and being in control, and they call each other control freaks. But Carson states, I would have to be in control. So she was like, so your husband, she was like, so your wife has to submit to you. And he was like, I insist on it. And she was like, you insist on it. What if she doesn't want to? And he was like, I persuade her. And she was like, how would you do that? What if that doesn't work? He was like, oh, it will. So once again, sexual tension. So she was like, there's no way I could submit to my husband. I would have to be tied up first. I'm too strong for that. So they gives Carson an idea. So she's sitting in the next room after they eat. She's sitting in the next room doing yoga, and Carson brings in a chair and doesn't say a word. And he has sashes sticking out of his pocket. So you can kind of see where it's going with his real APC. So he doesn't say a word. And so she sits down in the chair. She's running her mouth, though. It's women. So she sits down in the chair. He ties her up. And she says, what are you doing? He blindfolds her. And she says, well, what are you doing? He was like, I'm making you submit. You said you would have to be tied up. And she was like, well, what if I don't want to? And he was like, you can say stop at any time. And so he starts caressing her very sexually. And to the point where she's like, Carson, we're going to have sex. And he was like, it's not about sex. It's about you submit. So she couldn't do anything. She had to let him do whatever he wanted to do. And he's extra with it, running his hand all over her body and down her neck and all of that. So it's really, really turning her on. And there's nothing she can do about it because she's tied up. So what is she doing? Carson. All right. So that's them. That's how they ended, with him running her absolutely insane in the chair. But Carson is real gung-ho about, like, staying faithful to his wife. I think that's what's up. Okay, so the next couple we have is, let me go ahead and get Sensoray and Connor out the way, because Sensoray and Connor made the biggest revelations to me on the show ever, and they were just real nonchalant with how they said it. So they meet, and Connor is very smooth, and Sensoray likes him right off the bat, but she don't want to admit that. And so they talk, they have an exchange, and then they go in the house. Later on, you see them talking, and she's asking him why he's there and what him and his wife discussed, and what do they plan on doing after this. And he was just saying, I just need the money. It's more than what I'm making now, because I told you he's trying to be a stockbroker now and impress his wife, and it's more than what I'm making now. So I just want to get this over with, and just making it seem like he's there for the money. So of course they had to prepare a meal as well. Now before they prepare the meal, Sensoray gets a video. No, Connor gets a video of Sensoray, and she's saying how, she overcame a lot to become what she is today, and you know, her past was real dark and her husband accepted it, and you know, she'll never be owned again, she'll never be property again. And then she lifts up her hair and shows a tattoo with a almost like a barcode. Like, who is doing that? Who the hell is tattooing barcodes on people? But I digress. And so she shows that and says, you know, she'll never be owned again. Okay. And so he sees that, and you know, it kind of makes him soft, and then he realizes, oh, I'm not the only criminal here. Finally, he's not the only felon in the room. So they're sitting there and they're eating takeout, and they were supposed to prepare a meal together, and he was like, you know, we cheating, we half-ass, and we're not doing this right. And so they get to talking, and then the conversation just goes deep. And she said, well, you know, back in the day, I used to have a habit, and I wanted cocaine, and I used to turn tricks to get it, and I had a John who would get really rough with me, and he paid me in cocaine, and then one day he got real rough with me, and I can't have kids. Who reveals that in 2 days? So he was like, oh, well, don't worry, you know, I ain't no saver hoe. Who responds to that? Yeah, I was just sitting there like, who does that? Who tells someone, oh, yeah, I I was so badly that, you know, I can't have kids, and oh, it's okay, I don't save hoes. Who raised y'all? So they shut her down. She left out the room. She all hurt. So he comes, they come. Now, why is she in her hurt? I mean, she is really hurt that he don't save hoes. I don't know if she was hurt that he don't save hoes or he wasn't going to save her. Either way, she was pissed off about that. So then she gets a message to her phone, and it's Connor talking. And at first he, you know, real light, and then he said, nah, I took a life. I took a life, yeah, I killed a cat. And after that, I knew that I didn't want to be a part of the life anymore. Who feels that they murdered someone today? Like, why would you tell that to the phone? Because there's videos of them talking to the phone. I guess they asked them questions and they had to record their responses. And so she like, oh, I know this nigga ain't judging me. No, if you know, no tea, no shade, skin friends, but I know he ain't judging me, and he done hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? So he, she in the kitchen getting some water because we be thirsty when we mad. And he come up and say, you know, I apologize. I'm sorry. I got a pass too. I can't be judging you. You know, I didn't mean it like that. I try to portray this image that I'm not, and you know, I'm sorry. So she kissed him. She real confused, y'all. I'm talking about like she confused the hell out of me. Sexual tension is the theme of this. So she kissed him, and then you see them laughing, and he takes her out and goes to get a cover up for her tattoo. And she asks him, "What does this mean?" And he says, "Love has no price." So it was like, I feel you. You're not anybody's object anymore. You don't have a cost. So it was real, like, real sweet. And she was like, you need to leave because, you know, her hoe will come out. You know what I'm saying? You might not have to put no money on the dresser. You know, her whore come out. So she told him to leave. So that was Connor and Sensoray. I was just looking like, who reveals that? They're just really doing. I got their heavy asses out the way because, damn. Okay, so then you have Maggie and Sawyer. Oh my gosh, Maggie is getting on my nerves so bad. I swear I love Tony Child. But Jill playing Maggie is training. She is just so bitter and dry and mean and crusty. Ugh. So when he comes to the house, he all smooth, you know, knocking on the door, got flowers. You don't have a key? Oh no, I wanted you to invite me in. You know, Sawyer's sexy. You know, here, that's Mr. Steele, girl. So he was like, no, I want you to invite me in. She's like, a vampire? Well, you know, I bite a neck or two. I mean, real light skin. Like as light skin as he can get. That's what he is. And so he trying to talk smooth to her. And this food and lit up sage and put it all over the house because, you know, if you're from the South, that's what you burn spirits out your house. And if he a spirit, he ain't going to be able to take it. And sure enough, it smelled like straight booty in here. I can taste it in my throat. So you see that. So he leave out and he go to working out, you know, hitting his little punch bag. And so he happened to put his stuff in the room that she wanted to meditate in. So she come out and she asked him, you know, do he mind? Because she need to meditate. And he like, well, you know, you can meditate anywhere. And she was like, well, you know, this room has the best energy. And he was like, you right. That's why I picked it. You know, and she was like, yeah, but I don't need you huffing and puffing and then your smell. And he was like, you got nerve be talking about somebody's smell. And he was like, she was like, no, it's like a mixture of unbalanced man sweat and jacquard, whatever the hell it is. And he was like, is that a compliment or, you know, are you dissing me? And she was like, no, I'm just letting you know that it's throwing my meditation off. So he was like, you know, as stank as you acting, I see you. And I see you covered up in all these clothes trying to hide, but I still see you. Because he's very charming, very smooth, I watch everything you do. You know, you wiggle when you cook eggs, you know, you snore a little bit when you know how dudes are just extra light skin. Y'all know what I mean. That's all term like I say, extra light skin. So he was real smooth with it and sexual tension. So he come in after he's let her meditate and she's drinking wine. And he was like, I heard that it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So they going back and forth and he drops a quote on her. And she's like, boy, you don't read. And he like, dog, why you say that? And she was like, cause you don't read, you don't do nothing. You just box and you just saying something just to try to impress me. So he went on ahead and read her ass and let her know, you know, your stank ass attitude. I'm not stupid, you know. I just choose boxing because that's what I'm good at. But look, I did, I did graduate. What Ice Cube say? I'm not illiterate. I did read, food. You know, he was like, you know, I can't read. You know, so that whole thing. And so he made a joke, which he's been doing the whole time, because she was like, is that all you do? Is make jokes? Is that all you, it's either a joke or a laugh or a flirt? And he was like, well, you know, if you laugh, you live longer. You know that if you smile once. He was like, and I look at life positively, because what's the point of being negative? Which is true. He's very lighthearted. So she went on ahead and cracked a smile at his joke. They get to play fighting and all of that. And she go ahead and let him pick what they're going to eat. So he goes and get pizza. Now, you know her vegan ass don't eat that. So this is good. I'm like, so Carson ain't never bought you no pizza ever. Found your ass. If Carson would have came in with pizza, you probably would have been like, get that out of my house. You know we don't eat that. But young light skin come up in here and now all dominoes is popping. Oh my nerve, Maggie. So then after the pizza turned her up. So she stand up, I just want to let you know, you make me feel wanted. Because he made a statement, you know, I don't like my wife anymore, but I like you. I like you ever since I came in. I like you. And so she was like, well, can I be true with you? Since we're in a happy place, you know. With you, I feel wanted. I feel desired. I feel like you're what I needed right now. And at first I was wondering why they paired me with this young boy, but now I see you're exactly what I needed right now. And I'm glad you're here. And what did you and your wife discuss? Because, you know, if sex is on the table, once again, sexual tension. But Maggie just threw it out there. I'm like, your husband he ain't doing nothing but touching somebody. And here you are already initiating sex. And you've been in a head wrap, in a tunic, in leggings the whole time. And now all of a sudden you feel sexy because this dude say you sexy. Y'all better get with it. So she was like, I need time to feel you out. So that's what I'm going to do. And he was like, that's no problem. I can get with it. You know, because he's just trying to hit. I'm going to keep it real. So that's how they ended, with her feeling him out. All right, last couple was Dallas and DeAndre. Oh, by the way. So I left this out. So they got videos about each other. So Sawyer gets a video from about Caroline, and she's saying when she was younger, she basically killed a puppy. She took it outside, it froze to death, she killed it, and she felt guilty about it, but she didn't go deep. See, they real vague. I believe she had a miscarriage or something. Maybe she don't want to talk about it. Or I don't know. Maybe the baby died or something like that because she was like, maybe that's why I feel so guilty about. Never mind. And she cut it off. So during their time of getting to know each other, he bought her a box of puppies and she got pissed off about it, shut down, and went and cried and wouldn't talk to him. So when she was in there sitting there with the wine, that's how that conversation got started because he was like, I'm sorry, did I do something wrong? I didn't mean to. And that's when she was like, you don't know me and all of that. So that's how that conversation got started. And then it turned it into sex. Now you see what I'm talking about, the confusion. Okay, so she got a video about him saying that he wanted to be a writer. He doesn't want to box anymore, but he doesn't have the strength to tell this to his wife. But you want to hit. But you can't tell your wife you want to box, but you want to. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so the next one we have is, like I said, DeAndre and Dallas. That's the last couple. So when they meet, she's making she's having she had dinner delivered, so she's preparing it like she made it. She real. She preparing it like she made it, and so he come in and she's like, you can just put your stuff down, dinner be ready. I'll have breakfast ready in a minute, and yada yada yada. And he's like, no, I'll have dinner ready in a minute. And she's like, I'm straight on that. I just want to lay down. And she was like, okay, well, is there anything I can get you? No, you're not my wife. So right off, he come in on the defense because you're not my wife, and why you talking to me like that? So she let him go ahead and get settled because she figured, he done had a rough day, and she's drinking because that's all she do, and she like, okay, well, take your cold ass back there and put your stuff down. So she's in there preparing a meal. He come in, I feel like you're playing house, and, you just Kate, you just constantly asking me, am I all right? I'm fine. If I need something, I get it. And she was like, well, I'm just trying to take care of you. Isn't that what a wife's supposed to do? And he was like, no, I guess. I don't know. I'm not used to this. So she gets video of him saying how ugly the world is and how he doesn't want to bring children in it because, he a police detective. So when they come back together, when she goes back in the kitchen to feed him, she's like, you real cold with me, and just talking to him, and he's like, look, you're not my wife, and I'm not discussing this with you because you don't know what it's like to have it hard, and you've had money all your life. And she was like, oh, okay, now you dished it, can you take it? Shoot your best shot. She said, well, I think you're cold. And I don't think you are considerate of anyone's feelings. And you say what you want to say and you leave. And I think that's unfair. And I don't think you're appreciative of everything that I'm offering to you that I don't have to offer to you. No, you're not my husband and I'm not your wife. But we here and we got to make the best of it. So I don't plan on being, a bitch to you. So that kind of threw him off because I'm pretty sure his wife ain't said 3 words to him. She didn't say 3 words to him during dinner. And so that kind of pissed him off. So he gets a video of her, saying that she doesn't feel safe because she had a uncle who she would sit in his lap and they would touch him and talking about my family loves secrets. That's all we know. We're built on secrets. So I guess they let the uncle touch her constantly, made her go sit in his lap or whatever, and they kept it a secret. No one ever told. But they knew what was going on, but they never told because they didn't want to get the uncle in trouble. Ain't that a bit? So, yeah, so she was saying that. So she was saying that she didn't feel safe. So when she came out for dinner, she had got dressed up all nice, and she came out for dinner. He was saying, you're safe with me, and all of this, and I'm sorry. He kind of softened up a bit. So after dinner, they're watching a movie, laughing. I mean, crying, laughing. And so all of a sudden, he gets up and he feels guilty. And he was like, I haven't laughed in years like this from my wife, and I feel bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. So she all offended. Okay, well, you think maybe I'm what you needed, and maybe that's why we met. Just moving way too fast for me. So he was like, "Good night." So that's where that episode ended. Y'all, this series is getting really really good, and what I like about it is the dialogue. And I'm gonna do a video at the end of all these of just different questions that you should take from each episode, because watch the episode and enjoy it, but take one question to strengthen your marriage from it. And I'm going to have a list of those per episode of the question that you should take from that episode, discuss it with your spouse, not be in an argument, just be on a clear page. You'll be amazed how many people are married and don't know that their spouse maybe wants to be cremated. Maybe if they ever broke up, they don't want your spouse around the new spouse around their children. All this is dialogue, conversation. It keeps the marriage fresh. It keeps the marriage open, and it keeps it a judgment-free zone. Because if we're discussing everything, why am I ashamed to come to you? Even if I want to cheat on you, I should be strong enough to say, "Babe, I'm weak. I'm getting weak. Something is wrong with our marriage where I'm getting weak enough for a man for me to be attracted to someone else." Even if you're saying, "I don't want to be with you no more," you need to be strong enough to say that, because divorce was created for a reason. Not everybody are meant to be together. And you can try and you can try and it just don't work. But if you're not having communication, you're wasting years being someone's number two, and your number one or your real soulmate or spouse is out there. So, all right, child, that's done. That's enough. I still talked way too long that I wanted to, but I did get out the four couples. So, thank you guys. Like I said, it'll get better. I'm coming with episode 3 right behind this one. Hello.